cold cooking. Today we're going to make something, but we're going to make it so different from anything that you've had, you're going to be shocked and surprised. You are going to need, well, we're going to be making macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheese, if you wish to call it, but there's going to be such a twist on it, you're not going to believe it, all right? So you have to cut 6 slices of bacon, half-inch slices across like this, and you're going to put it in a saucepan, a large one. They said this is the biggest one I have, so I'm using what I have. You're also going to need a pound of pasta, small shells, or you could use elbow. I'm using elbow. I feel like using it today. I'm just waiting for this pan. Oh, I have got to light the water for the pasta. Where did I put that match? And also you're going to have to, I'm using whey in place of the water for my pasta to cook in, because I made cottage cheese yesterday. The whey is a byproduct, and you can treat it just like stock and everything else. Good morning, Judy. We've got some prepping to do, and this as well. And I'm also going to have it with the macaroni and cheese I'm going to serve with it is going to be the boneless top chuck steaks, you know, the little ones. Okay, let me get this bacon in here. I'm going to clean this board off because all of you will have kittens with me if I don't sit there and wipe it off first. You don't need a high heat for the bacon, but you do want to cook it, but you don't want it burnt. A lot of people try to get it done by having it on high. That's not what you want. Olive oil in it. Get that out. How much do we have in here? There's about enough for the soup for what I need. See there. I know you're not supposed to do that. Hi, Em. How are you doing? It's good morning to everybody. We need an onion. Now we are going to mince this onion. Mince means finely chopped. Yeah, I've been reading up on that new cutting board they're selling. They said it doesn't dull your knives, right? So if it doesn't dull your knives, every time you slice into it, you're putting a wedge into it like you would wood. So if it's going to do that, it's not going to be any different than a wooden cutting board. And so that means little bits and pieces are going to come off it as well in time. You have to listen to the wording of what they sell you. Don't press down on the top of the onion when you do this. You're just giving it a support while you slice through. That's all. And to keep it from sliding back, you use your little finger back here to hold the tail. Good morning, Mayhem. What? Hi, Elite. I should say good morning to all of you while we're trying to do this. All right, we've got a lot of things going here. Now, we had sandwiches yesterday. My son got carried away, and I need Dijon mustard. And I make it. He took the last jar, didn't tell me. Now, if you want to know why you like Dijon mustard is made with white wine. Actually, that's how it's made. All right, so we've got our 6 pieces of bacon in a large saucepan. We have water on for the pasta. Well, I don't have water. I'm using whey, which is the byproduct of the cottage cheese. We've got this onion. Well, that's going. We've got cheeses we've got to work with now. All right, how much? 2 cups of freshly grated cheddar cheese. So while that bacon's getting crispy before we take it out, 2 cups. We'll try this piece. We used to call cheddar cheese in Texas rat cheese. Rats love it. This is a very rich macaroni and cheese. Yes, Mayhem, that's what we called it. When I came up here and I said everybody thought I was crazy. Hi, confetti, Elite. I don't know if they say that anymore, but that's how I grew up then. I knew it by that term. Make sure you don't burn your bacon. You just want it crispy. Oh, man, you're talking up my alley now, Peach Cobbler. Good morning, Jim. I got a good idea what I want for it. Yeah, that's about 2 cups. I could finish this up. You're going to put that in a bowl. Oh, why not? Just take the rest of this cinder. Keep an eye on your bacon. You want it crispy, but you don't want it burnt. That's why you turn the flame down on it. Good morning. Somebody's message was deleted. Okay. What's a little extra cheese? It doesn't help anybody. Okay, now we need fontina cheese. How many cups? They want 2 cups of this as well. Fontina. I can get this up. I told you this is a very unusual macaroni and cheese, but well worth it. You're not supposed to use your knife to cut the wrappings off. Warning you, you shouldn't. They dull. I should know. Okay. And my bacon is almost done. So it's actually equal amounts of this cheese that I just told you and cheddar, which is going to be about 4 cups of cheese. So we're talking more cheese than normal that we're accustomed to when we make macaroni and cheese. Okay, you're going to take your bacon out. And you're going to leave the bacon grease. This is a one recipe. I told you I don't cook with bacon grease, but this one we have to. And you will not be disappointed. Maybe I should have done this as a cook-along, but I had already set up the other thing. Okay. Hold on, I have to see what I have to do. I've only made this recipe once. All right, and they also want you to add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter to the bacon grease. You're saying, say what? Yep, 3 tablespoons. All right, now I'm going to start grating this cheese. Now when you grate her, come off to go down. Don't stay like this pressing. You're just crushing the cheese. You come off and then grate. So you can see just little things that you do. You could mess up on the dish. I'm going to turn you down. I'm not ready for you yet. Okay. Waiting for that butter to melt and we'll start moving forward more. I need this still. All right. No, I don't need this. All right, now you need Parmigiano. You need 1 cup of this grated and added to your bowl of cheeses. That's right, we're using actually 3 cheeses with this. So this is macaroni and cheese, but a new version. So hi V. All right, put your onion into the bacon fat and butter that you've just melted together. And you've got your bacon to the side because we're going to be using it again. You're going to saute those onions. It's going to take a bit. I'm still gratering. That's about a cup. Yeah, it should be. I'll add a little more. Just be careful you don't hurt yourself. I tell you and then I go and hurt myself. Hey, Jag from Queens. Oh 09. Hi and good morning. CJ, okay. And hi. Do you know who Stray Kids are? They're singers. Now you can hold on to this piece and use this for flavoring. If you're cooking beans or soup or something, you just want the flavor of the cheese, this will work excellent. Now I think I'm grating cheeses. There's only 3 in the recipe. Let's see if I can get you over here. And I'll be working behind you. So I'll tell you what I'm doing so you can see what I'm doing at the stove. Because I mess everything up. Okay, let's get you over here. Get you up high. Get you away from the bacon that I've already done. Deepwater, West Virginia. Hi, Bill. So we're going to saute these onions. That combination is very, very good. Okay. Now, I'm cooking my pasta in whey, which is a byproduct of cheese making. I can it. I use it in stocks. I use it in gravies. I treat it just like I do any kind of stock. Ta-da, ta-da. Okay, I'll get this back up, don't worry. Okay, you're going to season your onions that are sauteing now. One thing you have to worry about whey is it will boil over. So if you put the lid on it, it's really going to go up. All right, let me see. What do I need next? How much milk do you want in a whole quart? Okay, you're going to add a half a cup of flour. I'm using whole wheat flour because I tell you I make my dishes more nutritious than using the all-purpose. They're always telling us. Now we have to wait till this flour smells of toast because we're actually cooking the flour. If you don't cook the flour, you have that raw back taste on your tongue, which tells you that the flour was not cooked. So it's very important that we cook this flour. Mine just have a large measuring cup, Sandra. You need 1 quart of whole milk. That is 4 cups for those of you that do not know your measurements real well because of the new math, which makes no sense. And to the milk, you're going to add a half a cup of powdered milk. This is going to shoot the protein way up on this dish. It's a nice way of getting protein into your family. And this is where I add my salt to the milk as well and mix it all together. Hold on, I'm going to have to put you underneath the counter. Okay, got the bacon here. use a medium low, so this way you don't burn the flour and give it time. Just whisk the powdered milk in it. It'll dissolve quite easily into your milk. Or if you have a fork, you can use a fork and stir it, but you don't have to worry about it. And you'll notice it has a really nice flavor. Start while you do this, bring the powdered milk and the milk in with the salt. You have to be careful with the salt because you're cooking with bacon grease, which already has salt in it, and you've got the bacon in it as well. So when you salt, be extremely careful. Also, we're gonna cook this for a bit. We still have it on that low heat. Because with all this milk, it will burn. New Zealand. Hello, Bub. B-U-B. Let's see. I've got you under here and it's so difficult to see. Hi, Judy. I said hi. Bub, good morning, everybody. So this is under a low flame now. We have to watch this pasta. It will stick because it's pasta. Now, this sauce that we're making, the cream sauce, is actually, well, I should call it a milk sauce, but this cream sauce, that's what we usually call this. I got the apron at Amazon. I don't know if they're still selling it right now. And my kitchen is a yellow, as my son said, it's a chicken yellow, okay? And we call this the cream sauce that we're making. Right now we have to wait for it to thicken up some, but on a low flame because it's milk, it does burn. We have to be careful about that all the time. I'm going to do something I normally don't like doing. I'm going to see if I can get around this. How far along are you? I'm cooking for my family. I'm not cooking for you, so I don't have to worry. But you'll scream, you need another spoon, you can't please. I'm cooking for my family, not yours. So as I was talking about that titanium cutting board, they say it doesn't dull the knife. So if it doesn't dull the knife, what do you think it's doing? It's cutting into the metal. Just like wood, just like plastic, rubber, or anything. It's cutting into it. So, what do you think it's going to do? You think you can get into those crevices and sit there and scrub it clean? Because no woman cuts in the same direction. She'll have that cutting board turn a little way, this way, that way. Food is going to wedge in there anyway. You're still going to have problems any way you look at it. I say it's no different than wood. It's no different than rubber. It's no different than anything else a knife is going to cut. It's going to leave indentations on the cutting board. But of course, you won't see it until later. And I doubt they're going to be able to get all of the stuff out of the crevices. That's how I look at it. So you'll have titanium pieces going into your stomach then after so many years, and then it'll come out and they'll let us know. The pasta's almost done. That's why I'm watching it like a hawk. The object of pasta is to get it cooked, but it's got to have a little like bite to it, crunch. I tell you, this stuff cooks quickly. So see, by adding the powdered milk with the milk and this cheese sauce, we're increasing the protein by a lot more. There are ways where you can make starch and stuff and soups and stuff more with protein to go along with whatever meat you have, and then you don't end up spending as much because meat is more expensive in the long run. And that's because the animals have to be raised and everything else. I mean, it doesn't take 3 months, it takes time. Now, what am I doing for the whey? I could throw it out in the yard. Now that the snow is gone, I got 3 days to feed your yard with this. I'm running out of pasta now. We got 3 pieces. Okay, this should be it. 1 piece left. All right, we're going to put the pasta to the side. God, just leave it there so it's hot. Now this is going to burn if you're not careful with it. When you want to know if something's burning on the bottom, you have to learn to feel and have the spoon the extension of your fingers as you feel the bottom of the pot. I use Murphy's soap to scrub down the cabinets wherever there's grease because it cuts grease, and I use Comet on the countertops, scrubbing them. I have a cleanser for these, and that's pretty much it. If I use bleach, it'll be after I've used Comet in the sink. And I use some bleach on the floor sometimes. It just depends upon how dirty it is, what I'm going to do. But good morning, Stephen, Thomas, Nora. Macaroni and cheese. Bill? So I use basically my whole house is cleaned with Pledge, Windex. I vacuum up and around. The floors will be cleaned with whatever I feel. If they're not real dirty, I'll just use some dish soap on it. If they're real dirty, I'll use some bleach with it to get it clean, and wax. It's very simple. So it's Windex and Pledge mostly, and Comet. If the bathroom gets moldy, out comes the bleach. Open the windows. I don't kill myself in the process. But because I'm allergic to a lot of cleansers, this is why I have to do it this way. CJ, we're making macaroni and cheese with a nice twist on it. This one has bacon. We've added powdered milk. We've got 3 cheeses going in here. It's not your regular macaroni and cheese. I just did the elbow. I got it cooked in whey, which adds more protein to it. So as you can see, I calculate for a lot of this. All right, add your cheeses now that the milk is like a heavy cream texture. We're going to get this cheese in here. So see, if nothing else, you can make a lot of just simple dishes, more nutritious, just by, like they say, spend a little extra time in the kitchen. This has to melt. All right, now my son used, though we had sandwiches yesterday, I didn't think he used all my mustard. He used all my Dijon mustard practically. There's no more in here. Yeah, he did, didn't he? Okay. So I'm going to use another mustard in this with my Dijon. It's a peach ale mustard. Don't knock it. It's very good. And I made it. Fontina, cheddar, and Parmigiano. No, not Parmigiano. Which one? Parmigiano. So because look how much mustard he used to make 3 sandwiches yesterday. Yeah, a lot of people CJ go for simple. Simple, make it simple. That's all I want, is make it simple. It's too much trouble. And I've heard that from so many people. Even when you sit there and try to tell them something they don't want. Macaroni and cheese. Yeah, well, I don't have enough. So I'm going to have to use another mustard. So I'm either going to blow this dish or it's going to come out, because now I have to use peach ale mustard, which I did not want to use. They want a... Well, how much mustard do you want in this? Okay, that's going to be a 4. Yeah, Danielle, you were not supposed to use all this mustard yesterday. I didn't watch you. I should strangle your tail. Okay. Okay. You need 4 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. I don't have 4 tablespoons. I have 1 tablespoon. But I have this one, peach ale mustard. That's right. Liquor and peaches with it. So I'm going to add this one in. I'm using what I have to make it work, and I might come out with something that tastes really good. See, some of these things I use, you have to sit there and actually can. For those of you who want to know, do I can? Yes, I do. Peach ale was something I canned. So, it shouldn't be too bad. Now some Tabasco sauce. You'll put some in to what you feel. And watch it, it will burn. I can feel it trying under a low flame. I know I changed it some. Oh, I thought I was going to sweat that out. They say to taste. Because of the whole combination. One of them does lift weights. My husband used to lift weights too. My husband was very, very athletic. Okay. Okay. Put your bacon in, stir it around. Let me get you back over here where I can do this better. So as you can see, yeah, I'm cleaning my mess up so we can move it over here. Now, if you make this ahead of time, to warm it up, you put it in the oven at what temperature? 375 and heat it up in the oven, they said, if you're not serving it right away. Then we'll get the steaks going. Well, hi, Matthew. 4 Celsius in Canada. Okay, and this is the dish, and it's creamy. It's very creamy, but it's also because we added a half a cup of powdered milk to it. We increase this protein, and just being a starch, it also becomes a protein dish as well. So you can see by doing this, you can cut back on it. Though a lot of people like can and quick and stuff. You can like it, but you want somebody to do this for you, but you don't want the time to do this, which I think is ridiculous. If you like, this is really hot. I can't put this on the table like this. So this will be 2 meals. Oh, let's think of something to have with this. Don't worry. But you can cut these recipes in half. No, too hot. It's way too hot. Now, I'm going to get stuff ready for the steaks. I told you we've got the loin steaks. Okay. Yeah, you got some lining up. We're going to have to cut these off. I'm sure you've seen these steaks. They're good for breakfast. I've had these for breakfast. I know these little steaks very well. Yes, I do. Matthew, I do make it. 49 in Virginia. Okay. So when you serve these, you have some linings you have to cut off. It's actually, let me see if I can describe it. It's a shield. The best way I could do it. Every organ in your body. I know this because it was explained to me when I came back from being dead. The organs have a lining around them so they can sit in your cavity. Same thing with muscles. They have this lining that protects them so they can move around. If you didn't have that lining, they'd all stick together and you wouldn't be able to move. So that's what you want to cut off. It's very, very tough. And it looks like this. I don't know if you can get a good picture of it. It's very, very tough. I just call them a simple lining. It was explained to me by the doctor. So if you have it there, you have to cut that off. If you don't, it's let's say they'll be chomping and probably spitting it out. But that's how your organs can actually, function in your body and not adhere to each other. Now, why would the doctor tell me that? Because mine had started breaking down, which was causing all the organs to stick together, which meant I couldn't move. I couldn't stand up or anything. And they spent almost 18 to 20 hours inside correcting all the damage. Good morning, Sila? Thank you, Matthew. Meg? Not almost, I was dead. Dead. And yes, I'd talk about it if you wish to hear about it. So which time would you like me to know? I'm not ashamed to talk about it. It happened. I remember what was on the other side. And by the way, if you don't think your prayers are heard, they are heard. Because my body had died and I was with Christ. Okay, Meg. What happened is the first time they put me under anesthesia, they lost me on the table. And I was standing in the spirit, and I was saying goodbye to my mother. And the next time it happened, I ended up in the hospital. Now, I believe in home birth, natural and all. Well, something went not chemical, mechanically wrong with me. And by the time they got me to the hospital and to the OR, I was dead on the table. I got up from the table, and there were two angels standing there. By the way, angels are not little babies. They're not your height. They're huge. Okay? I can say that. I was before Christ, and I heard my husband's prayers, and I heard my children's crying. And so your prayers, if you don't think your prayers are heard, they are very much heard. They're like screaming up there. I mean, it's like a big, you have the speaker on high. You hear it. You can't deny it when you're there. And I was telling Christ, I was at his feet crying. I told him, this body is dying. I can't go back to it. It's dying. And we listened, we turned, wait a minute, I'm here. We turned right. I heard my husband's prayers. He was going to blow the hospital up and kill everybody and every doctor that touched me. Then we turned left, and I heard my children crying for me. And I told them, the body is dying. Well, the next thing I know is I wake up. I'm back in my body with tubes in my mouth, tubes in my abdomen, tubes in my arm, and they have me tied down on the table. Well, I guess it's the bed, not the table. Gurney, whatever you want to call that thing. And I was trying to talk. I couldn't talk. I was on a respirator. I had tubes coming out of my neck, out of my arms, my belly. I was in a bad way. But after I spoke with Christ, every day I was getting better and better and better and better. And they say, is there a heaven? Yes. Is there a Christ? Yes. Can our prayers be heard? Yes. Are there demons? Oh, heck yes. And they are huge as well because they're fallen angels. They do exist. I've seen them. The guardian angels are huge as well. Christ, all what you do is cry when you're in front of them. I mean, it's really something. But yes, that's death. The only thing that dies is the body, not the soul, which is you. You express yourself through the body. I'm going to actually separate you. You are a soul. God gives you a body to express yourself. Okay? So we're here, and what we do is express. This is how we know each other and everything else. So in that aspect, so when somebody dies, you're crying over a dead body, but you should be cheering on that soul has moved forward from the karma or whatever they had to deal with. So at death, you should celebrate. At birth is when you should cry because that soul is coming in and they've got a lot of lessons ahead of them to learn. But we sort of do it back. We celebrate the new baby, and when the old leave, we cry, but they're not really. And when you're in a soul state, you're not old. You're not old, and you're not a baby. You are a real, I can't say breathing because I don't know if we breathe on the other. I don't think we have to breathe on the other side. You're a real being, not physically. So when somebody dies and the children turn little ones, because little ones can see, and they say grandpa's here or grandma, or I see mommy, they're telling you the truth. They are right there. The only thing is you can't see it because you're so material. You have to see a physical form. But when they die, it's only the body dies. They separate from that body, but they're still very much alive and they're not old. Okay? We're a lot younger than we realize. Maybe that's why we're always getting in trouble on this side. I've never heard anybody sit there and say that they hear your prayers on the other side. They hear their crying, you can hear the sorrow, the happiness, and all of that. Hi, Sharon. You're welcome. Kuji? Mia, good morning. The what? The Gober? An experience. Siv, Kane. Macaroni, we make macaroni and cheese. Now we're making little steaks. So you don't have to cry when you lose somebody. You haven't lost them. You go in the other world, they're right there. They're the ones who help you back over. That's why I said my mother and I had a lot of problems when I became an adult. But I hope she's learned her lessons. According to their level, if they're earthbound and evil, they're stuck on the earth and they can give havoc to us, the living. Then you have those that are further advanced. I look at it this way. I believe in reincarnation, so we come back more than once. We can come back male or female, but it's human. Plants can come back in whatever plant they want, but they have to stay in the plant kingdom. Insects have the insect kingdom. They can go and be any kind of insect they want, but they have to stay in the insect kingdom. And for animals, the same thing. They can come back as any animal they want, but they have to stay in the animal kingdom. So I look at it. This is how I look in the simplicity. All right, let's say this is heaven. This is earth, right? God is here. Eve did her stupid stuff and got us down here, all right? She really got us way down there. But the thing is as you do good and kindness and stuff and learn your lessons in life, you move further forward. But if you sit there and have grudges and hate and want to get back and all these negative things that you do, you drop down. So it's like Wall Street going up, down, as we work our way towards God. This is how it is. That's how I perceive it. Now, how can you sit there? They have two laws. God has exactly two good laws we should listen to. There is a law of karma. That's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. This is where reincarnation comes in, because if you kill somebody in one life, they can't get revenge. So therefore, you two would have to come back in another life in different bodies, and the person you killed has a right to pay you back for what you've done and take your life, or they can go into the law of grace, which is, I forgive them, I'm moving forward. You see, so every decision we make can be good or bad, better known as your karma or the law of grace. Which one do you choose to take? So with all of that I have learned, helps me to understand. So my sons, when I tell them, you're showing signs of it. Look, I don't want to hear about that life. I got to deal with this one. I'm saying, your life is now because of what you've done in the past. If you know what you did in the past, you can sit there and move forward, but sometimes in one ear and out the other. But it answered a lot of questions for me. So that's why, because I had questions, I really did. And I got my answers through the ARE and reading those books and stuff and all. And it helped answer the questions. And it's helped me have a strong foundation. I found out churches are very political, which I'm not overly happy about. They're not supposed to be political. They're supposed to be basically out of that realm. So I know they break that rule. I'll do it this way. So I don't know what your questions are, but this answer, between believing in reincarnation and the laws of grace, it's given me a much better understanding. No, pretty cat, if you're making fun. We will be grinding flour. I have to order some flour so we can make Ezekiel bread. I know a lot of you will make fun of that. you always do. But I've already explained the kingdoms and everything else. And if you wish to know more, you can go to the ARE, join them. They're a bit on the expensive side, unless you have good money. You can become a life member for thousands of dollars and get into those files and stuff and read them, but you cannot get into them unless you are a member. The American Indian used marijuana as a medicine, but I also know that if you just use it all the time, you're opening up a Pandora box. If you've never seen a demon, you don't believe in them, you don't believe in God, that's fine. I've seen both of them. And believe you me, I know they exist. They are very real, as much as the angels, because demons are angels that have fallen. And it was jealousy that did it. Morning Star was created before us. He saw the creation, so he's wiser than any of us. The only one who could beat him is probably Michael, or Michael will be the one who would do it. But the thing is that demons are real because they are fallen angels. And if you see angels, you can see demons. And if you see dark, then you know you're dealing with that. And possession is a very real thing. Marijuana opens that Pandora box. And when you do it, you're falling, in simple terms. But if you're using it as a medication, the American Indians use it as a medication, which I can understand. But just to smoke it, to stay high because you can't deal with life, well, I disagree with that. Right now, Pretty Cat, what I think is going on is a lot of women have been taking birth control pills instead of using an IUD or a diaphragm. And I think what is happening is after all these years, the female hormones, the synthetics are in the water and throughout the ground and stuff, which I figured is triggering some of this problems. That's how I have to look at it. Because I can't, I know sometimes souls come back as the same sex, not to be lovers, but because they love one person so much they come to worship them, and they're not supposed to worship them. So they come back as the same sex to prevent this from happening. But some, they're still so defiant. Instead of seeing the person as a person, they put them on such a pedestal. This happens. It's not supposed to be. I have a gay son. I know what the Bible states because I have the old Bible. I just ordered the Ethiopian, by the way. I want to hear those other 22 books. I got the 1611 or 1613 Bible, and that's missing a whole third section of the Bible that we know today. And there's even more 22 books from the Bible. And the Ethiopian is the oldest. So there's more missing in the Bible, King James. So I'm getting the Ethiopian to see what else I can see and read. And my son said, "Are you getting religious before you die?" I said, "Sean, you know I've always been like this. I've always been spiritually inclined." Hi, Maya. Orna? Thank you. Look, I'm a sinner, all right? And don't tell me you aren't, because I'd call you a liar to your face. Who am I to judge, okay? My freedom goes as far as my nose. I've learned that from my parents. So they're adults now. They make their own decisions. Do I agree with some of those decisions? No, but I also know they're their own person. I'm going to sear these quickly. Well, I can't see a parrot saying, you know, well, whatever his decision is, I just leave it like that. There's nothing, you know, I didn't encourage it. Matter of fact, he had the terror of telling me. He said, he was afraid, oh, mommy's going to throw me out of the house. And I said, and yet I took it. He hid it, and he didn't know. I was the one who told Tony that he's going to be this way. So Tony and I were already prepared for it. But he didn't know that I knew when he was born, and when I saw him, I was like 35 days before I could see my own son. I told my okay. I was talking about my gay son, that's all. Well, where was I? What was I talking about before I answered questions, which always happens? I'm searing these, okay? No butter, just salt and pepper, and I'm just going to do it like this. I have a lot of experience at being 73. You know, you just learn. Yeah, for 35 days I couldn't see him because I was on my deathbed. They wouldn't allow me to see him. I didn't even know if he was alive or dead, you know. But I was in the hospital a very long time. 6 months later, I was back in the hospital on my deathbed again. Then I was back in the hospital again trying to recover. Listen, it was a long recovery. I did not see him for 35. I didn't even know if he was alive. Thank you. But I did not know if my son was dead or alive until I was sitting down. And I couldn't hold anything more. If I had to hold, it was very difficult for me to hold a pound. Weights, I couldn't even pick my arms up. So he sat me down in a chair, and he stood in front of me, and he said, here's your son. When I came home is when I saw my son. This, my oil can. That macaroni and cheese looks so good. How has YouTube after your life? Well, I've met some very interesting people here. I do this with or without YouTube going. I'm going to cook every day, but I've met some very beautiful people here. I've also met some nasty ones, you know. Only in the summer when I have the windows open. In the winter they don't. I remember going home, and you could smell when we walked home. We knew because we didn't have air conditioning. When we walked home, we smelled everybody what they were going to eat for dinner. It was so good. Children of today are missing out on that, being able to walk home and have all those smells coming at them. Nathan, we all hope for that. And thank you, Paul. Okay, Mason. Like one woman here confronted me and said, well, what do you think about 144? And I said, there's different levels of punishment and it would go up. The first are 144,000. These are ones that have already paid for everything and they've made it up there. There'll be punishments and then there'll be another suite of people, those who repent truly. And we go through this. It's like a lot of sifts you got to go through. And then the last ones that refuse under any circumstances, in spite of all of the punishments, they are the ones that will be locked up in hell. I put Natural Magic on it. It's made with lanolin, peanut oil, olive oil, and rose water. That's what I put on my face in the morning. I rub it in, and I put it on my face at night. And you can rub it all over your body if you wish. After you take a hot shower, it feeds the skin. And the only other thing I do is I'll put lipstick on, and that's it. Nothing else. That is my whole regime. So I wake up half asleep. I shake the bottle up, I put some in my hand, and I rub it all over my face, my neck. And then I go and get dressed. Decide what earrings I want, and then I put lipstick on, and then I'm down here half asleep telling you good morning. And I'm saying, wake up, Sandy. ARE, Association for Research and Enlightenment. Association for Research and Enlightenment, called the ARE. It's in, I think, Virginia or West Virginia. I'm not cooking these all the way, because I know they will be really, really tough. They have seminars at the ARE and stuff like that. When we were joining it, they didn't have it at the time, so they've changed some. You are very welcome, Paul. Mia? Shell? Oh, I guess, Shell, that you are showing you must be one of those people that have purple hair. And that's okay. Raz? No, thank you. Oh, that's funny. So these little steaks, you don't have to cook them all the way. Cook them to the point of doneness that you like. Yeah, a lot of us are. This is how I teach my sons to cook like this. They might not be able to do everything the way I do because I'm retired. I'm sure they'll say, Mommy, I cannot make stuff and can it. I said, no, you don't have to can it, but you can make it and put it in a big jar and put it away, you know. Shell, what is your problem? If you have a problem with this channel, then you may go. We will not be upset with it. Meg, yes, they are. But I'm not serving them for breakfast. I'm going to serve them for dinner. Oh, somebody's carrying on, so I just said, oh, you must be one of those people who put your hair purple. That's all, just for the fun of it. Okay. Don't tell me you did your hair purple. I saw this video trying to sell stuff to get your hair to grow. They show this woman. They never show her how thin her hair is. Never. But she's selling a product. She said, look how thick my hair is now. I said, I want to see you with your hair real thin, and then we'll see if we can make a comparison. Oh, okay, right. I don't know. I don't use that. Okay. Blue and purple, okay. So I sit there and I laugh about it. I really do. No, I've never colored my hair. I wore makeup for a while as a teenager. All girls go through that stage. And I just got tired of it. I spent, 45 minutes putting a face on? I said, I have better things to do than do that. God gave me this face. I'm going to live with it. Like my mother wanted to straighten my teeth, and I told her no. I was born this way. I'm going to deal with it. I didn't want to change. And she was upset about that. She wanted me to do that. Yeah, you have to put a cleanser on your face. It had to dry. There was no in makeup. And then you washed it off. I couldn't put makeup on until my skin dried. I had to wait for it to dry. Then you had to put on the foundations. You had to put on this and the colors and everything else. And I just found it too much trouble. Way too much trouble. I said, I'll pluck my brows as the strays grow out so I can hold my brows shape. I didn't even want to do that, but my husband got me into that. He said, do your brows at least, Sandy. I said, okay. He got me nail polish, a whole bunch of beautiful colors. I started wearing them. My nails died. He said, what happened? I said, my nails are dying. I told you I can't wear makeup. So he searched and searched and searched and searched, and he found Bare Mineral. Oh, this is when Bare Mineral, before it was sold over to another company, and I wore it, and it was minerals, and because it was minerals, my skin took to it very easily. Then what happened was they sold the company, and I started breaking out again. So I said, see, I told you I can't wear makeup. So I learned to love myself just the way I am. Are you asking me how to get your bowels better, DB? I want you to go to a health food store, or maybe you can find it on Amazon. You go and find calcium, magnesium. Now you have to get them in the right ratio. If you don't get them in the right ratio, they're not going to work. Okay? I want you to go and get calcium, magnesium in this ratio, a 2-to-1. In other words, if you get 500 milligrams of calcium, you have to have 250 milligrams of magnesium. Do not get it in any other combination. Get it in that combination. Now, how many do you take? I can't answer that. I have to take 5 of those tabs a day just for me to be calm. These are, they also calm you down and stuff. If I'm really hyper, I take more. Some people can, my husband could only take 2. My sons take 1, takes 3, but I'm the one who takes the most. I have to have at least 4 because my nerves are shot. I get very nervous. So that's the ratio. If you want your bowels to clear up, that's what you have to do. Thank you. No. The calcium, magnesium is what you need. Those are 2 minerals. The magnesium causes your bowels to move, but if you just take magnesium, it will sit there and throw the calcium out. If you get too much calcium, you get constipated. This is why it's got to be a 2-to-1. Calcium is always doubled what you take on magnesium. And that's what's wrong. We're missing the magnesium in our diet. And because all this food is processed, we're losing a lot of nutrients. Yeah, well, the reason it smells is because you've got old bowels sitting inside of you into the colon. I'll explain that. Give me a minute. Okay, number one, if you eat and go to bed 5 hours before 5 hours are up, remember the food sits in your stomach 5 hours, breaking down, churning, and everything else. If you sit there and go to bed, once you go to bed, organs go to sleep and other organs wake up. When you wake up, you have those organs that were awake at night go to sleep, and the other ones that were asleep at night will wake up. We have a balance like this with nature. You can't undo it. It's something that's there. What happens is that a lot of people eat and then go to bed. Now, your colon is like this. It actually has like this. Okay? What happens is you have undigested food in your system. I know a lot of you go to sleep and you have stuff in your stomach. That food goes rancid inside of you, just like rotten food in the refrigerator, except it's inside of your body. That's why you get bloated, you have foul smelling gas, acid reflux. All of this is your eating habits that you've done. Now, the thing is that if you've eaten a lot of pre-processed food that's already processed and you just heat it up, it's got chemicals in it. Now, they don't know the chemicals when they get into your body, how they're going to react together. These are their preservatives and stuff that they put in. You can read bottles and containers and you won't know what's in them. You know, you read them and you sit there and say, well, what's in here? I don't know what this is. Well, you should look it up to see what it does. Now, the thing is when they get together, because you're not going to use, if you have just the pizza, you're also going to have the soda, you're going to have something else. But they have preservatives in those frozen pizzas, all right, to preserve them so they're like that. And they also have gum in them. That's why you have that funny taste in the back of your throat. I hate frozen pizzas. You also have something else that you've ordered, or dessert, and it's been frozen and it's got preservatives in it. If it's not frozen, it has a preservative in it because food will go stale. Typical. So you know. So you've got that. Now those two now they say it's safe over here and they say it's safe over here. But when you combine that all together, you don't know what it does inside your body. Now another thing is because a lot of people are constipated. In other words, when somebody says you're full of shit, they are telling you the truth. Elvis Presley had 50 pounds. John Wayne did. This is the bloatedness that you get because your bowels cannot clean, because the minerals and the magnesium that you get naturally in the food, if it's not processed until completely out, you wouldn't have this problem. Now, your bowels, those chemicals and waste are sitting in your colon. So you move your bowels, right? But they're still sitting in the pockets. The pockets aren't clean. And that's the problem, to clean them out. Now, people who have heartburn and indigestion. Now, this is stuff that I've read and Adele Davis has talked great details about. If you have heartburn and indigestion, it usually comes from medication, drinking sour food in your stomach, because if you go to bed with food in your stomach, you'll also notice that that acidity is going to come in time because it's rotted food sitting there. So you're on your side. The stomach, you're supposed to be upright when you eat, so you're at a side so the liquid could seep back. See? You don't believe it? Children, some babies, they drown from milk because they've eaten so much. You know, that's why we have to burp them. If they have that gas and you don't burp them and you just put them down, that milk and gas is going to come up so it can push that milk up and kill your baby. So this is why when you feed a baby, an infant, you sit there and pat, pat, pat till you get those belches out, because you know they're going to want to go to sleep. But with that gas trying to get up, it could cause a problem. So it's pretty much the same thing with you. Oh, sunshine. Thank you. I like that. That is really cute. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, you don't have to believe it. I love the sun balloon, Sharon. Thank you. But that's what it is. If you want to clean your pockets out, my husband had to go through that for a whole year, every week. You have to find, Connie used to do it. I can't think of what they call her, but you'd go in for a colonic and they clean the colon out every week. Now, what happens is wait a minute, if I clean the colon, it should be clean. No, because you've been eating and not eating properly and cleaning and evacuating, your body, as much as you don't want to hear it, it's going to reabsorb that filth back into your system. Hence, skin problems, hair loss, dead cells. So you're walking around like a petri dish. Okay? People don't know this. So when she cleans your colon out one week, the body sees the colon is clean. It's going to start, everything it's reabsorbed in there that's filthy, they're going to start throwing it in. So you have to go the following week for, and it'll be just as bad, if not more. And as you keep cleaning your colon every week, you'll notice that there'll be less and less, but it takes about a year for the body to push all of that stuff out of your system because you've got it backed up. And once you get it clean, you've got to keep it running clean or it goes back to doing the same thing that it did before. So does that answer why the gas, the indigestion, and all the filth? So we're actually walking around like a petri dish. Now, the ARE states point blank, listen to this, this is really good. If you cannot urinate and pee within urinate or move your bowels in 1 minute, you're constipated. That's how fast you're supposed to move your bowels. Now, if you're in the woods, do you think you could stay in a squatting position for like the 15 or 20 minutes you sit on a toilet? Think about that. Animals don't have time. They move their bowels very, very fast. We are supposed to do it that fast. You should not sit in the bathroom any longer than a minute. Well, you can fast if you wish. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not. But the thing is just because you're fasting doesn't mean the system's clean. And it usually shows as you get older. You'll see women with spots on their face. You can see the mineral deterioration because the teeth, the bone jawline pulls back, the teeth get loose. If you have digestive problems or heartburn, a lot of people do, they call it acid reflux. This is poisons and stuff in the filth in your body. So as you get older and your hair falls out and all these other things, this is not normal. This is your body reacting to all the filth, a lifetime of collecting filth in it. And nobody, and you can admit, would you want to go through somebody's trash with everything in it? Well, that's what you're doing to your body as well. So if you want to stay healthy, you have to keep this system running. It's a everyday chore of caring for it. People use mouthwash to cover up the bad breath that comes from undigested food in there. You sit there and you have red eyes and you look bad. You put eye drops in, blink, 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 you know. You go and get your teeth bleached because you don't want them to see how bad it is. Women show it differently. So all of these symptoms that you're seeing are literally from the filth in your system. It's just a long trail. And as you get older and you don't care for this body throughout your life, you notice organs start malfunctioning. They're toxic, they're dying, and this is what you're going through. And this is why things happen the way they do. The steaks are over there to go with the macaroni and cheese. Drinking a lot of water does not do it. Too much water, you throw the sodium out. This is why people pass out with too much water, because they're not getting the sodium balanced with the liquid. Sir, that's okay. Somebody asked me a question and I'm answering it for them right now. What vegetables am I going to serve with it? I don't know yet. But the steaks are done. The macaroni, that unusual macaroni and cheese, is already done. We made macaroni and cheese and some breakfast steaks this morning. You can eat what you want, DV. I don't know how your digestive system goes or anything else. So I can't say that. I'm just putting recipes out here, and that's what we're doing. Oh, you want to see them? Oh, see, okay. Here's the unusual macaroni and cheese right here. Okay? And here are the simple breakfast steaks. Now you can do a medium rare, done, or however you want. It's just for you to decide how you want to have them. Okay? Now, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's New York time in the United States for those of you. Okay? We are going to be making Spanish bar cake. I have already given you all the ingredients. I'll give them again. Now this Spanish bar cake, you can make it as a 2-layer cake. You can make it in a 9 by 13, or you can cut it in half and you can sit there and put it by an 8 by 8. What you're going to need is raisins, butter, sugar, baking soda, flour, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, salt, eggs, and chopped walnuts. You're also going to need confectionery sugar and vanilla. You're also going to need we're going to need wax paper, okay? And we'll talk why we put it together this way. And we will be frosting it as well. DV, it's your choice, whatever you want. But as you age and you start having medical problems, but understand as you get older, yes, we do age. I'm not going to say we don't. The body only lives 120 years now. So the thing is that do you want to be sick as a dog in old age, or do you want to be able to enjoy your life straight through till you're cold? It's your choice to make. So if you just want the steaks, that's fine. You do that. I eat a lot of different foods. I'm not eating for one person says, well, I don't like this and I don't like that. You're going to sit down and you're going to eat it, or shut up and go buy your meal outside. Oh, it's just two little hearts together. Troy, that's all it is. And thank you. But that's what we're going to be making. When I say spatula, that's the one you use with a mixer, not the one you use to fry eggs with. Over easy. All right, so make sure you get the right spatula. And that's what we're going to be doing. So remember to take the butter out, hold on. Yeah, make sure you take out the butter and you take, where is it? The eggs out. Anything in the refrigerator, take it out in the morning so it'll be room temperature. If it's cold, it's going to take longer to cook, which means it could burn. Okay? So make sure you take those out in the morning. Anything that's in the refrigerator. We will also be making this health food, though I'll show you how you can make it healthier, or if you want to make it the regular way. So you'll actually have two ways. You have a choice on it. All right. So I think that's everything. Don't forget the wax paper, because we have to line with wax paper, because this will be hard to come. Sir, please, no yelling. You don't have to yell and do all capital letters. All right? Just let's be nice and understand that we're all different, okay? I was accused because I had a nose ring that I'm not an American. Which I thought was pretty stupid. I could say that about people with pink and purple and blue and red, green, and every other color, rainbow head of hair. And I could say men wearing dresses aren't Americans either. You know, I could go on a whole tantrum and say, well, you're not to my standards, so therefore it's not acceptable. I'm not going to do that. Everybody has their own. And Thank you, Paul. I think I'm going to have to charge my phone. Hold on a minute. And one of my cook-alongs will be just a simple meatloaf, but I will be putting a Victorian barbecue sauce on it instead of ketchup. So we'll be doing that a little different. Oh, you haven't been here in a while, David. Okay. Bok choy was a while back. Yeah, that's right. I did do bok choy. Showed you that you didn't have to drown it in a ton of water. What? No, I don't know what you're talking about. But listen, does that explain the body and how it works on getting rid of waste? I mean, I hate to say we're all petri dishes, diseases floating around, but I hope it helps the person who asked. I don't see you writing, but maybe you're writing everything. Isaiah, hi. So I'm going to go. I got a mess to clean up, as usual. But anyway, I've got to go make the bed and stuff. I haven't done that either yet. I haven't done anything. I just came down here. I had my calcium, magnesium, and water. I haven't had any breakfast either. That tells you I was busy. Yeah, it's good. We're not making cookies right now. I'm not making cookies on my next Come Cook With Me. We'll have the Spanish bar cake, and I think after that I might try to make a meatloaf, but it'll have to be done in the morning because I'd have to make it. Let's see. This week I'm not going to be here Thursday. I don't know about Friday because I have to get my hair done and I have to go shopping. So we'll see about that. Let's see, how can we do this meatloaf? I'm thinking how to do this meatloaf. Not how to make the meatloaf, but how to do a cook along with you so you could do it. We might have to make it in the morning because that's about the only time I can do it. But what's beautiful about it is it can be warmed up very carefully. All right, listen, I want all of you to take care. Yes, I wear boots when it's cold. I don't know yet. You'll have to wait and see. But right now, Wednesday is set for a Spanish bar cake. You can buy these things, but they're never as good as the ones you make. Okay, so listen, I want all of you to take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.